Biggest thing about talking to people is if I'm talking to people, I've got to be pretty free in sharing information back to them. And I learned a long time ago that you don't lie to your fellow fishermen. If you tell them a story or tell them a false truth and hope to get away with it, you're going to get found out sooner or later. And I just shoot it straight with people. So those are the two biggest things.
Yep. Wyatt Boetsma here from the Deering team at REMAX. Welcome to video number 1 of our Meet the Captain series, where I sit down with the Holland Steelheaders member, boat owner, and captain. And today I'm sitting with board member Eric Bruins, captain of the Fishin Fever here in Holland. So Eric, thanks for coming out here with me today. I appreciate it.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me today, Wyatt.
Absolutely. So I want to get things started. Your boat, the Fishin Fever. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that boat and how you think it fishes, maybe how you came in possession of the boat?
Sure. So I've had that boat for 10 years now, and I just tell people it's a guy's fishing boat. There's nothing, so to say, sexy about it. It's just a plain old simple fish on the floor guy's fishing boat. It's a 2002, little older boat. And it's also, I think, the slowest boat in the Holland Steelheaders. Certainly on the Tuesday Night League, it's the slowest boat out there, and it seems like every competition we're in, it's the last one out to put lines in the water. But I've had it for 10 years, love that boat. I've done a lot of changes to it, kind of curving it to my style, and yeah, it's a fun boat. I like it.
Very cool, very cool. So when does the Fever usually go in the water?
I usually go the last Saturday of April or the first Saturday of May. I trailer the boat, I keep it in a barn at my house, but I do have the luxury of pulling it out of the water whenever I want, putting it in the water whenever I want. So that's a pretty nice system.
So how did you get started fishing out on Lake Michigan? Was it a relative of yours? How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it forever, Wyatt. I mean, seriously, all my life. You'd think by this time I'd be getting fairly good at it. I'm just starting to catch on, I think. But my dad was fishing on Lake Michigan prior to my birth, and he'd fish on Lake Michigan with his father. And I've been fishing on Lake Michigan longer than I can remember. I'm sure there was a season or two in my late teens that I probably missed, but I bought my first, so to say, big boat when I was 23 years old. And that boat was a boat that I kept in the water all season. So since I've been 23, I've had a boat in the water every single season.
And you're 29 now, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel 29, and good. My maturity level's probably 29 too, if that. So tell me a little bit about maybe what you do for work. You have the opportunity to give In On Time a shout out here, and maybe tell me a little bit about what you do outside of fishing for fun. Sure. So I'm with In On Time. We're a trucking and warehousing company in Zeeland, and that keeps me very, very busy. I work at least 50 hours a week at that job. So during the summer, I try to get out fishing as much as I can. Usually it's weeknights and Saturday mornings. But during the week, I'm pretty busy with trucking and warehousing. There's times where I'll take a vacation day or take a little extra time off during the work week for fishing. But In On Time keeps me hopping.
Yep. Good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. It pays for a lot of boat gas.
Absolutely.
So that's a nice thing. And buys a couple fishing lures here and there.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm going to ask you. You brought something with you today. I'm going to ask you to hold that up, maybe for the camera. Eric, and is actually back-to-back champions. The boat that he captains of the Tuesday Night Fishing League that the Holland Steelheaders puts on every summer. So why don't you, I told some members that I would ask this question, and you can spill as much or as little as you want. It's a broad question. What's your secret? What do you think's working for you guys right now?
Well, number one, it's our team. Okay, it's not one individual. If I was fishing on a regular basis with new people every week, we wouldn't have the results that we have. Plain and simple.
Sure.
And Wyatt's on my team, and we just, with the 4 or 5 of us on the boat, we've got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. I'd always say that the biggest success is the network of friends we have. And we just talked to a lot of other fishing captains and talked to people about fishing, and it's kind of like the number 2 or number 3 thing in my life, and it's just something that myself and our team are real passionate about. We get real excited and we like talking fishing, and so Secrets, great team, and myself and our team, we just talk to people a lot.
Yeah, yep. And it's reciprocated, right? I mean, just information back to others, and when they help you out, you know?
Yeah, so biggest thing about talking to people is if I'm talking to people, I've got to be pretty free in sharing information back to them. And I learned a long time ago that you don't lie to your fellow fishermen. If you tell them a story or tell them a false truth and hope to get away with it, you're going to get found out sooner or later. And I just shoot it straight with people.
Yep.
So those are the 2 biggest things.
Yep. Want to ask you a little bit about your time on the board. So Eric's been a member of the Steelheaders for quite a while now, and has recently joined the board, 4 years ago?
No, actually more recent than that. It's been a year and a few months that I've been on the board now.
Okay. Oh,
so we've got 7 people on the board.
Okay. Yeah. So is there any new perspective you've maybe had about the Steelheaders organization as a whole, or maybe our fishery as a whole, since that you've come to realize since joining the board?
You know, the Steelheaders is really, really cool. It's a great way to get out and meet other fishermen and get to know people really, really well. It's brought to light the necessity of fundraising for the Bouy. That's a big thing that we've been doing for the last years, raising money. We almost lost the Port Sheldon Bouy a year and 2 years ago because of underfunding. Thank goodness the South Haven Steelheaders bailed us out and paid the shortage that we had. But we've been doing a good job fundraising for the Bouy recently. We're actually ahead of schedule right now, so bringing that to light is really good. The fishermen are really great about paying for that Bouy. I wish other boaters would step up a little bit and help out there as well. But Steelheaders also brings to light a lot of great conservation efforts going on by the state and really the tri-state area for our fishery.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So Eric, earlier you lifted up the pennant, your prized possession here for first place in the Tuesday night league for the Holland Steelheaders.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that Tuesday night league, and is it a good thing for, kind of like newcomers to the sport to take part in?
Yeah, absolutely. Tuesday night fishing league is probably the most fun I have all summer, and people not in the know about Tuesday night fishing league, like my wife's friends or something, will say, Tuesday night fishing league, what in the world's that? And my simple answer is it's golf league for people who don't like to golf. Just plain and simple. It's fishing every single Tuesday night of the summer, where if the weather's bad, we cancel. But it's a nightly challenge. There's a prize for the winner each night, but the bigger thing is who can win the whole season. Tuesday night fishing league is a really, really great way to get to know people, and people who fish the Tuesday night fishing league get better. They get a better network really fast, and you also look at the amateur results up and down the lake from Michigan City all the way up to Ludington, and a lot of the winners of those amateur events come from people from Holland Steelheaders, especially the Tuesday night league.
Yep.
So I'm telling you, if you want to get good at fishing, get in that Tuesday night fishing league. Get to know people, get friends. It's a cool thing.
Good deal.
It's a riot.
So just got a few more questions here for you. Kind of getting to the lighter side of things here, a little bit funnier stuff. So
I like that.
Yeah. I want to know, what's your take on bananas? Are they allowed on your boat?
As Michael Scott says, I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. For years I was like, who cares? I don't care about bananas. But we did have an event 3 years ago where we were fishing for hours, just hours, and we didn't have a bite. And it was just a beautiful day, and everything just screamed, fish, fish, fish. And my buddies were catching fish. Unfortunately, you weren't with us that day, but we're starting to think, what in the world's going on? And we're going through people's bags, and we're thinking, I don't know, we got bad scent on our hands or something. And then for some reason, one of the guys found a banana in someone's bag. Dead serious. And so one of the guys grabbed that banana and just chucked it. Just chucked the thing overboard. And I am dead serious. Within a minute, we had a fish on.
There you go. That's judge, jury, and executioner right there. You have your answer.
I'm not superstitious, okay?
Get them off the boat. What is your favorite boat beverage, or in your case, should I ask cerveza?
I don't know. I kind of switch around a little bit. So I was kind of on Miller Lights for a little while, and then went to Modelo's, and basically you can see how things are going in trucking based on what I'm drinking. So if I'm drinking a PBR, it was a pretty lean month, okay? If I'm drinking a Modelo, things are good in
things
trucking.
are good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't see me sipping bourbon because trucking's tough, okay? Just plain and simple.
Or we could see you sipping bourbon because trucking. You never know.
Yeah, but I am kind of cheap.
What is your number one favorite, like most consistent spoon of all time?
Does it have to be a spoon? Can you just say bait?
You just say, yeah.
Okay.
However you want to answer.
If you just say bait, I'm going to say the Dragon Slayer 8-inch fish catcher.
Okay.
With the oh crud! Help me remember what fly we put.
It's the pickled sunshine.
Pickled sunshine behind it. Yeah, I love that bait.
It's a good one.
Just love that bait. If I go back to spoon, I don't know. There's a lot of spoons that I like, and it really varies week to week, month to month on spoons.
Yeah.
So I can't answer on spoons.
Okay, fair enough.
Varies too much.
Fair enough. So most fishermen know, we all know that sunscreen is like a natural fish repellent.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a sunscreen policy on your boat? Have you ever seen somebody spraying it all over your baits and stuff?
It's a pet peeve of mine. I try to tell new people on the boat before they get on board, I say, have you used sunscreen? And if the answer is yes, I have them wash hands right away with soap, real thorough.
Yeah.
And explain why, and I try to be really kind about it. And I also try to ask people if they have sunscreen with them, and advise if they need it, put it on the dock before they get on the boat, and then wash their hands really good. But I have had many occasions where people pop out the spray sunscreen while I'm in the back of the boat setting a rigger or whatever. I hear this and I turn around and there's this big cloud of sunscreen through the underneath the hard top, and I go, oh no, are you kidding me? So I really don't like sunscreen.
Yeah, that's why we all look like lobsters in the summer. So.
Yeah, even when we go on vacation and go to the beach or something, I just never wear sunscreen. I can't tell you the last time I've worn sunscreen. My wife hates that.
Yeah. So Eric, you and I have seen some peculiar, if not nasty weather conditions out on Lake Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And I'm curious, what was, and you can share as much or as little as you want in case your wife Jeanette is watching. But what's the worst weather event you think you've seen out on Lake Michigan?
Oh, worst weather event was when I was probably 21. I crossed Lake Michigan with a friend of mine in a 36-foot Formula, and we went flying across to Milwaukee. Thought we'd just get a pizza and go straight back just to say we did it. And on the way back, we got caught in a really, really, really nasty storm. We were hoping to get back to Holland by 10 p.m. We ended up getting back to Holland at 7 a.m. the next morning, and we were quite sure we were going to. No, my friend thought we were going to make it, but I thought we were going to die that night. We had water coming over the front of the boat in just foot-tall waves,
Yep.
and it was really scary. Thunder, lightning, and pitch black, and back then we didn't have GPS, we had Lowrance. I'm showing my age just a little bit. And because of the amount of water that was coming over the windshield, it shorted out the Lowrance, and we had no idea we had no idea if we were going in the right direction, because every time we'd go up and down in the swell, the old compass on the dash would do a complete 360. And so the compass was unreliable. We didn't have any electronic heading. So yeah, it was bad. Wyatt, you and I have been in a squall or two. Yeah, I've been through quite a few by myself. Way over 10. And I'm always bad at predicting those and getting off the water ahead of time.
You're a full send it kind of guy. I respect that about you.
I do like a full send. I
Every
do.
once in a while. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my last question here for Eric. This is something that I'm sure your family, your friends, all the Holland Steelheaders are curious. Is the mustache coming back for the 2024
Oh, the mustache.
fishing season?
Oh, my wife and daughters hated that. Oh, but the funny thing is, my wife and daughters hated it, but all my buddies loved it. So it might come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me wants to bring it back because I thought it was cool.
It was good luck too. Yeah, you gotta bring it back.
I'm trying to look in your eye and see if you're really serious about that.
You gotta bring it back. You gotta bring it back. Put a lot of fish in the boat. It's the fish stash.
Put fish in the boat, that's for sure. It did.
Eric, thanks so much for coming out here with me today. This was a great interview.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time and picking your brain and
Fun stuff.
Yeah, this was a good time.
Thanks for having
me. Do you have any questions about the Holland Steelheaders or home ownership for that matter? Feel free to give me a shout, and I'd love to get you connected to the right people. And if you're out shopping for a home or looking for some property close to the boat launch, Lake Michigan, we'd just love to be that connection for you. So, Eric, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Wyatt.